Art's a fantastic process, and someone once asked Michelangelo, how he did what he did, and he said, "Well, first of all, you've got this image in your mind of what you're going to make, and it's inside that piece of rock. You just have to keep chipping away until you find it." And it's exactly the same with theatre. You keep chipping away until you refine the ideas, and this is a play about ideas and the ideas of what makes a place and what makes the people and the culture of the place, and that's why it's so exciting.
When I first started my master's degree back in 2016, it came out of a place of feeling disconnected and disengaged from the art form that I love. So I'm a theatre background, and I'm not a musical theatre background, and as you'd be well aware, most of the theatrical opportunities on offer in Rockhampton are musical theatre. So I was really frustrated by the fact that there didn't seem to be many opportunities for people like me who had an interest in using theatre as a tool for communication and really opening up conversations with communities. And that doesn't seem to be something that's very prevalent in Rockhampton at the moment. So I was looking at the commonalities between applied theatre, so that's using theatre in communities to achieve a certain objective, and role-playing games. And I found that there were a lot of commonalities, and I thought, is the role-playing game a way of rebranding theatre for non-theatre people?
Today, specifically, I'm teaching everyone how to play role-play games because our play has a big, strong element of that. Honestly, it's a bit of a dream come true, being my job to be playing tabletop games.
It features a lot of terminology and scenarios that people aren't quite used to at the moment. So, well, maybe they are, but general public, it's going to be a really hard job to get them to cotton on and understand what's going on straight away from the get-go. So, but that's my job.
We played the role-playing game, came up with a lot of different responses to, if everyone left Rockhampton tomorrow, why would they leave? And then I synthesised the multiple different outcomes from those different games into one answer. And that one answer happened to be the answer that we explored through Rockpocalypse.
Yes, I am very happy. I think we're having the dramaturg here and the set designer mean that they're going to be working very closely with the script as well, and the script will then change in reaction to the whole of the ensemble's responses to what's been going on so far. So,
my name's Robert Cronk and I'm working as a dramaturg on the project, and basically a dramaturg's job is to work with the writer and just ask questions about what the story's about, what the characters are doing. It's almost like a coach for the writer, and just to sort of get in their ear and go, so why is that character there? What are they doing? What's going on? But really the job's just to be a sounding board and just to be able to offer some outside perspective, because when you're up at midnight trying to bash a script into shape, having someone else's brain on it sometimes can be really helpful.
I was very fortunate throughout this creative development process. It's quite unusual for a playwright to be allowed in the rehearsal room, and really I was at every creative development session and every rehearsal bar one when I was on stage at the Pilbeam. But I was very, very lucky that I was allowed to be quite hands-on. We designated the creative development process early on, so we went, this first block of time is creative development, and in that block of time, the text could change completely. The text could change slightly, but there would be changes. It would be a movable document at that point in time. And then we had a cut-off date by which I would get a final version of the text to the actors and the creative team. And then I promised I wasn't going to touch it anymore.
It's been quite different from anything I've done before. The amazing thing for me was the period of creative development. It meant having a playwright in the room as we were learning and performing the play. This meant that the playwright gave us insight into what she was thinking when she wrote the script. So I got a much deeper understanding than ever before, and also the script was then tailored to fit the stage based on some of the creative development and rehearsal work that we did.
I think what the main thing that I always worry about with new works is the amount of effort that's gone into refining the script, because if you have like a well refined script, then the artist can really get behind, like the actors can really get behind it, and that's what we've got here. I think we've got something that's been worked on.
It's very interesting. It covers a lot of different, I'm not going to say genres, but different kind of styles, and they're all captured really well.
Great. I love it. The revamp's been really, really good. Everything's been polished off. It's added that just a bit more of like emotion to everything, and it's beautiful. I'm excited to show everyone.
We had a really great audition process. So similar to the audition process we employed for the Heritage Village Living Histories project, we went through a full casting call to the general public, and we got in quite a few respondents who were interested in auditioning for the role. We got a lot of unknown entities again, so with that previous project we found a lot of people come out of the woodwork that we weren't familiar with, and the same was the case for this project.
I hope that a lot of people who came in weren't too stressed out. I got a lot of great work from a lot of great people, but unfortunately, like, there's only 5 parts to give out and some really solid competition. So, but I'm really looking forward to working with this cast. I haven't worked with a lot of them before. There is at least one familiar face, so it'll be a pleasure to work with him again.
I actually nearly didn't, because I was going away for surgery. So then I thought at the last minute, yeah, why not? I auditioned, then got informed that I was successful, which was a huge shock. I was just excited to audition for something that was a paid role. It was the first time I've ever done that before.
The cast was phenomenal. They were so dedicated to the cause, which was really helpful, to the point where there were a few times I had to dissuade them from going and organising a rehearsal, because I'd be like, guys, you might need a break. During production week in particular, they were so diligent. I had to make sure that I was hot-footing my way over to the theatre about 4 hours before their call, so that they could be in there at the time that they wanted to meet, because they were really, really dedicated to trying to, nail those last minute changes that they needed to nail, and making sure that they really executed the performance the best that they could. When I started the the project development process, I was looking to the work of other directors that I'd seen in the area and thinking about who had done things that were in a similar vein to the play that I wanted to see produced. And I know that Trav had recently completed Monsoon with Keppel Coast Arts, and having seen that work, there were facets of the direction of Monsoon that I saw that I thought could really have resonances with a text like Rockpocalypse.
I got approached by Jess Lamb to do this a while ago, like in the developmental stage of this, and I was really excited to get amongst it, because I like playing Dungeons and Dragons, but with kids I don't really have the time to do 3-hour, 4-hour game sessions now. And I just finished our cabaret show, and it was really cool to just come in off the back of that, just straight into something different, something completely different. So I'm really looking forward to the challenges of this kind of a show.
Travis terrible, absolute nightmare. No, Trav's great. He's very cruisy, very chilled. He's very patient with us. There are probably some moments where I'm thinking, you should be coming down hard on us right now, but no, he remains very calm. He's kind of like a bit of a gentle giant.
The set design was really phenomenal. Anna and I obviously know each other going way back. We went to university together, and she's always been one of those Jills of all trades, but she just happens to kind of go against that rule of master of none. She really is a master of design, which is fantastic. And I showed her the play, I think it was very early this year, maybe even the end of last year, and I asked her very early on in the process if she'd be interested in coming on board as designer. And I said to her, look, I've got this idea and it's kind of ridiculous, but I just want a really big hunk of dirt and I want a scaffold. Can you make those things happen? She's like, yeah, I can probably do a bit better than that. I was like, okay, but dirt and scaffold, those are the 2 things I want. And she's like, yes, we can make that work. And she designed this amazing space that on the surface looks really kind of pared back and simplistic, but then you think about the symbolic resonances of that space, and it's actually pretty complex.
Yes, I can't wait to get into the venue because I've never actually worked, I've never even been into the Walter Reed space, so I'm very much wanting to get in there because I'm trying to visualize it, but I'm very excited about with the stage design. We met the stage designer, and she just had this, just when she was explaining it to us and everything, in my head I'm just like, yes, because I feel for the audience there needs to be some explanation through the stage design, and I think so from what she's explained to us and what she's getting across, I'm like, yes, that will solve that, because I was trying to work out in my head how some of the things were. We
were very lucky in that this was a project that was funded by the Queensland Government through the QASP, Queensland Arts Showcase Program funding stream. So they donated, or rather they funded the project. We also had support from Rockhampton Girls Grammar School, who gave us a donation of space throughout the rehearsal process, which was really helpful. And we had a donation of support from the Rockhampton Regional Council to support towards the hire of the venue as well. I feel so incredibly grateful and thankful for Arts Central for being able to take a risk on this project, because it is a bit of an unusual and unknown entity to put on new work in a place that doesn't often have new work. And Mark Svensson in particular has been a very supportive mentor for me throughout this process. He actually was my unofficial university supervisor when I went through my master's degree, looking through the work, asking in true Mark Svensson fashion, is that a good idea though? Oh, does that make sense? Are you sure about that? And you hate those questions at the time, but they're absolutely the most important questions. You need someone who will not bullshit you and who will just front up to you and say, yeah, I don't get it. And the work wouldn't have been a good work without people who do that. And I think that part of the reason why this process is so important, and it is the process that I think we really need to carry forward in future projects, because it was such a rich process. But yeah, this process was valuable because of the fact that it wasn't about saying, oh, honey, darling, I loved it, it was beautiful. That's bullshit. I don't care about that. I want to know, is it good? Is it interesting? Is it doing something? And does it make sense?
I think the play brings with it quite a message about the way we live our lives. It talks about some of the controversial subjects about, are we living in a sustainable manner? Is what we're doing commensurate with our lifestyles? And it focuses very much on place, the place of Rockhampton, Central Queensland. So I think for all those in the area, it's definitely be a great story.